If you liked us before, you're going to love us now. We've brought Fox Sports Radio to the Tri-City.
All right, that's all I needed to know.
This is Fox Sports Radio 1340.
This man right now went out there and proved all the naysayers wrong because he did what they said he could not do. He goes by the chosen one because only a few can be chosen. Stand on your feet for the new UFC welterweight champion of the world, Mr. Tyron Woodley.
Man, that was an introduction right there, brother. How you doing?
How you doing, champ?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just getting used to the extra responsibilities and, you know, put myself in position to try to, you know, make a nice little run at this.
Well, you do it. You're doing what you set out to do. You're doing what people thought you couldn't do. Again, thank you for coming back with us the second time we had you on last year amidst all the chaos that was going on in Missouri. We had you on then, and good to have you back now. And I remember on that program you spoke about being the UFC champion. And one of the best things I just said to you off air, when you won the belt, you woke up that morning on your Snapchat. I'm telling people, listen, get on your Snapchat because this man right here woke up with his two sons in bed, had the belt on him. It was a beautiful, beautiful scene. How has that transition been, champ, now being, you know, in the home with the title and all the things that come with being a champ?
Man, it's been a lot, you know. I did expect it, you know, for me to be crazy for the next couple of weeks or so, but, you know, it's a little bit more than what I expected. You know, a lot of former champions, my boy Rashad, DJ, Rampage, those guys hit me up and kind of, you know, gave me the warning. Who else? DC hit me up. So all my brothers hit me up and like, man, it's going to be a lot, man. People are going to be coming at you from all different angles. So, yeah, it comes with the territory. I'm excited to be the champion. And the last 2 weeks have been hectic, but now it's winding down, and I got back to training today, and I'm excited.
Now, I got to keep it real. You know that when you call in this show, this is the show where the pros listen to, where barbershop talk meets radio. You've been in the barbershop. You're from you're from St. Louis, so I know you know how it is when you come into the barbershop. We got to keep it real with you, champ. Now, as a big fan of yours, as the champion, a lot of things come with the territory as being champion, right? So now, a lot of fans immediately started hailing you and throwing things at you that I completely feel is unfair, but I'm only a small man in a big pond. You're now the big pond to me and a bigger pond in UFC. How do you feel about people trying to throw out PED accusations at you? Like, you've never been accused of it before. You've never had any transition before. This is what they do when they're falling heroes fall.
You know, I didn't even see any of that, so it's news to me, but I take it as a compliment. It means I'm built in a way and I fight in a way that people believe that I'm not able to do it with my own, you know, abilities, talent, God-given gifts. So, to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of them, but just so everyone knows and make it real clear, I've been tested 8 times today, and I've been tested every fight since my last Strike Force fight. So when they do the random tests, I randomly get tested every time. And just to take it a step further, I wasn't even taking any supplements for my last 2 training camps. So actually last 3 training camps, even though I didn't fight Johnny Injuries, I still had a training camp for it. So with that said, it's just hard work and dedication, and it's not 100% genetic or 100%, you know, hard work. It's everything put together. So I got a good work ethic, great team. I know my body well. I'm getting to know it even better. And, you know, I didn't see all those things, but it's funny to me. They're more than welcome to come and get a nice warm glass of my piss. They want to bring me cut by.
You know, it was like on Reddit and, you know, a lot of social media outlets. I believe I saw one of them in Bloody Elbow where fans were. It was like a big thing the night you had one that was out there. And I know I stepped back and a friend of mine who you know him as well, Mr. Keith Creed. We were just like, you know, over on our Fox Sports page, just like not understanding where that talk came from. But maybe, you know, I know you're a big boxing fan. You just mentioned hard work, dedication. Remember when Floyd Mayweather had a chance to finally fight Arturo Gatti, and the fans all of a sudden deemed him as his bad guy because he beat a famous boxer, a fan favorite, like Arturo Gatti, may he rest in peace. Now this time around, you're kind of seeming also, and you say you might be not known to it, but people are starting to hate you and hate on you for you winning because you beat defame Rufus Robbie Lawler in 22 seconds, might I add. How do you feel about and what do you guys say to the haters out there that are hating on you because you beat one of their legends?
I don't have anything to say to them, to be honest, because it's like this. The same people didn't expect me to win. Now they're mad that I won. They want to discredit me and say, okay, he had some assistance to some super supplements. And then the same people want to immediately, like I haven't even been checked for a full 3 weeks yet, and then everyone, oh, you should fight this dude. You're scared. You're running from Wonder Boy. And I'm thinking like, man, like you didn't expect me to win this fight. You didn't expect me to be in this position. But now that I'm here, you automatically have my next fight booked for me. You automatically have accusations. You automatically think I care, and I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there and do what's best for me and my career. It's been a long journey, to get to this point. I didn't get the shortcut. I had the long road to the top, the long way. And a lot of these guys, like, even I think Conor McGregor has something to say. Like he had the shortcut.
I was going to bring that up.
He talked he talked himself into a fortune. And to be honest, he probably should keep his mouth quiet because he's fighting in my weight class, and he's not in my weight class. He's fighting a lightweight and welterweight, and it's a different level of her, brother. And you get hurt trying to mess around with fighters like myself and some of the other welterweights.
Well, in the words of Ric Flair, he's a stolen gimmick, and Conor McGregor. And trying to do things. And, calling you and Eddie Alvarez out, and you guys haven't earned enough, big fights yet. And last time I checked, I've seen a lot of big fights. You know what I mean? And I watched you over your
I've
career.
had way more big fights than Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's biggest fight was Jose Aldo, where he beat him. Before then, it was Dustin Poirier. But if you look at his resume, he beat, he has 3 significant, actually I give him 4 significant victories. Even though Chad Mendez had like a whopping few days to get ready for the camp.
Yeah.
But Chad Mendez, Jose Aldo. He also had Dustin Poirier, and then at that time, Max Holloway wasn't ranked as high as he is, but he did defeat Max Holloway. So he has 4 significant victories. But if you look at my resume, I've beaten Kelvin Gastelum, I've beaten, Dong Young Kim, I've beaten Paul Daly, Koscheck, Condit, Jay Heron. I've had a lot of, Tarek Safin and Jordan Meehan. I've beaten way more top-10 opponents than he's beaten. Yeah, and I've stopped a lot of people that had never been stopped before. Or maybe hadn't been, like Robbie hadn't been finished as Nick Diaz stopped him in his first in the UFC. Jay Heron had never been put out cold like that. Neither had Koscheck. And Dong Young Kim, he thought he was going to press me on floor. I knocked him out in 60 seconds, and I took that fight, in a month and a half notice. So people can mouth to say anything. His mouth has been, got him into the position that he's in, and that's why he's making the money he makes. And for him to say Eddie Alvarez or I don't deserve the money fight, he's fooling himself. Eddie Alvarez has been in the game way longer than me. I remember cornering Eve Edwards when Eddie was fighting for titles in Bodog, and I wasn't even a pro yet. So Eddie's had the extremely long route, and for him to continue with it and have the resilience and to not give up sight, and then to battle legal to even get in the UFC, and he gets there and he goes against all odds, beat super tough, tough opponents just to even get there, man. So, I got a ton of respect for Eddie.
Do you think he wins Saturday? Do you think Conor wins?
I think he should focus on. I think he should focus on Nate, because Nate beat him on 8 days' notice. I think with a full training camp, we might see something even worse.
Well, that's bringing me to. I tell people.
He quit in that fight.
He did, and that's what everybody, I don't think people touch on enough is that he quit in that fight. You know what I mean? He could have got choked out. He could have passed out and took the, all the mouth. And I guess it was not red panties that night in his household because he didn't come home a winner. But enough of Conor McGregor. What I speak to you about, because one of my favorite fighters of all time, I mean, you talk about some people that gave you a call, and Sugar Rashad Evans, one of my favorite fighters of all time, is a big Rashad Evans fan, but I call him George St. Spartacus Pierre. He's talking about coming out of retirement, and you mentioned that you would have liked to have had that fight with him, but it does seem that the UFC kind of forced you into this next fight and didn't give you the opportunity. They're giving other fighters like a Michael Bisping, and guys like that to pick their opponent who they kind of want to fight. Are you a little disappointed you didn't get a chance to fight GSP next and to take this next fight with Wonderguy?
No, I haven't signed a bout agreement yet. I haven't formally been offered on Wonder Boy as an opponent. I think I think Dana was talking about what he.
Report I got
I think
from,
Dana was talking about what his plans are for the future, but Dana hasn't offered me that fight, and Dana hasn't sent me a contract or a bout agreement, and I haven't agreed on that fight. So in my mind, there's still options on what's going to happen. Like Conor McGregor talked himself into that position. Michael Bisping talked himself into that position. I would hate to believe that, pigment of my skin has something to do with the person who's done the same thing as champion. Yeah. I would hate to.
I think
that's
podcast.
The case.
You're taking all my questions, Mr. Woodley, champ here. Everything I got prepared for because it's such a big. Because that's really what's being, is it the color of your skin? I know I'm a really big, friend with King Mo, and he's had things to say about Dana White and the company as regards to race as well. And do you think that maybe that's playing a part in you not getting the fights that you want to fight?
No, I'm not saying that the organization. I'm just saying in general, some of the fans and what they see sometimes indirectly, they make comments that are racist comments that are indirectly. Tyron Woodley, he starts off strong, but he slows down, and he's got all those muscles, but cardio can become a factor. That's really racist, and basically saying that you're athletic, you're gifted because you're black, but you got a hard worker, and that takes away from all the hard work. Don't confuse genetics with hard work. When you have both of them, I need you to give me my respect. And then you think about a guy like, I hate to keep bringing him up, but you bring up Conor McGregor. His last fight, he got tired. He had a 5-round fight. He got tired in the first round. And everybody want to make excuses when he got tired. Was it because of the weight? I'm like, have you ever fought? If I walk around 195, 200, and I don't have to cut and deplete my body down to 170, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be more conditioned. I'm going to be faster. I'm going to be stronger because I didn't have to tax my body and dehydrate it and drain the muscle and the energy from my body. I was able to go out there and walk around close to my body weight, eat good. That's one less thing I have to worry about, cutting that weight. So unless he fought a guy that was so much stronger than him, that was on top, laying and putting his shoulder on his mouth and pressure making his cage, Nate is a 55-pounder as well. And he doesn't even fight that style of a fight. He just hit him with everything he had, and Nate didn't go down, and he eventually got fatigued and tired. And I'm like, no, just say it. He was tired. He gassed out. Let an African American athlete stomach start puffing a little bit, or you take a deep breath here and there, and then automatically
you don't have the stamina.
Or something, not even African American, just a person with decent muscle composition.
Well, see, that's just the ignorance of fans, not being intelligent. As this is the show for the intelligent sports fan, you're a wrestler. I mean, what better or more cardio is there that's really out there? You know what I mean? Like the things that wrestlers go through. I mean, I just don't understand that language or that talk at all. When they say things of that ilk, I want to switch this up a little bit, and because I like that, I like that because I think that Conor should be called out more of his peers, okay, than he has been. I know y'all have been coming out, but I like you're a champion now, coming out and mentioning these things and other guys. I don't think he's very liked in the locker room. I know it's not really a locker room, but locker room per se.
No, I actually like Conor. I actually like his business mindset. I like the way he generates the money. I mean, he can actually fight. I've commented 2 or 3 times in the last week on his boxing training, how his hands look really sharp. But for him to come out and say something on me, and I literally hardly ever, kind of knocked him. Mm-hmm. I mean, I respect his hustle. I respect the grind. And, I'm trying to put myself in a position where I can make some of those money fights after. So for him to, come out of his way during his fight with fighting a guy that chokes you out, I'm going to need you to focus on your opponent.
So how hard will you then focus on the UFC getting you one of those kind of fights against a Michael Bisping or GSP? Because he did leave the champion.
GSP is more of a personal fight. It's a fight that, as champion, you want to see that you're the best, and it's a legacy issue. And obviously, 2 birds are going to be killed with 1 stone. If I go out there and I beat the greatest welterweight in the history of the sport, I'm going to be rewarded with it, by the way I'm paid. So why wouldn't I do that? And if you take it a step further, when I was actually going to fight Robbie, if George would have came back in those moments, I would have basically had to take a seat back, and the former champion would have came in, and he would have had a chance to, get a crack at getting his belt back. What's different from Wonder Boy? If George St. Pierre comes back, what makes him different than me? That he shouldn't have to take a back seat when I was prepared to do that. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. Many people were talking about, what about George St. Pierre versus Robert Lawler in New York? What about this? Everybody's making all these plans. They had all these predictions on what they thought would happen, and they completely left the fact that I might win this fight out. Even Connor's coach said, "Oh my God, I don't know. It was crazy to see George or Wonder Boy fight Robbie before I fight." And I messaged her. I said, "That won't happen, brother, because I'm winning this fight." And he laughed and said, "You know what? I like that."
He did.
You know what I mean? So I think.
You think the fight fans want to see?
These guys respect me.
Do you think the fight fans want to see? Because
fight fans, I think sometimes you got to show. Sometimes you got to tell the fight fans what they want to see. They don't know what the hell they want to see sometimes. Sometimes they want to just see bloodbaths and a teeter-tottering back and forth. Every fight's not like that. Sometimes with one fighter is dominant over the other one, and the person might not get no licks off. There might not be no blood. It might not be no cut. It might be a one-sided, lopsided fight. They want to see a back-and-forth war.
All the time, right. All the time. I like that. That's the Vince McMahon approach. Fans don't know what you want. I tell you what you want to see, because I always go back and like I said, I'm a big Rashad fan. I hate it, in my opinion, and I could be wrong here. I'm just a fan, right? But I'm an intelligent one. When he fought Lyoto Machida and the crowd started to boo, I didn't like that he pressed the issue. I thought him being the champion, Lyoto should come to him. And when he pressed the issues, when, the outcome of that fight happened, I always say, if he can just go back again and fight that fight again, I wish the crowd would shut up and not boo in that instance when he had that fight against Lyoto Machida. But one of the things I do love about you, champ, and I know our time with you here is short, is my wife is constantly bugging me about getting my sons into boxing or MMA and things along those lines. And you opened up ATT Evolution, which is a MMA gym for discipline for, wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, back in your hometown. How is that a venture, and how does that make you feel bringing that back home?
That feels awesome. I come back home, and then a lot of the techniques and stuff I teach to the athletes when I'm the guest teacher now, because I have instructors that are high level world class guys, and they're putting these guys through techniques and drills. So Family Fitness Center is martial arts for adults and for youth. It's also fitness classes. On top of that, we have personal training. So it's kind of a one stop shop. So when I come back, these guys are wanting to come to the gym more. They want to be in class more often, and they believe in the system now because they've seen a champion grow from their champ. So with that said, I think it's important that if your kids show interest in martial arts, you show interest. You teach great life skills, you teach them how to protect themselves, give them confidence, and I think it just makes them a more disciplined, well-rounded person. So I always encourage martial arts to kids.
Now, how important, like one of our shows today, like we do Enough is Enough. And one of my things, I'm not sure if you read the article in the Chicago Player Tribune that Jabari Parker wrote. A really big, good article about him coming back home and doing things back home. So one of our topics today is athletes that come home and give back home. How important do you think it is to come back to the community and try to, especially you being an African-American man in the community, to come back and help, do things there that's positive?
I think it's huge, man. I've been getting some opportunities here recently. Me and my assistant, we just want to sift through them and see which ones make sense for us to do right now. And also, I was just at an event. I did a speaking engagement in Las Vegas. Ben Newman, you guys can follow him at Continued Fight. We was on a big tour. It was the last stop. We had my man Jerry Rice as a keynote speaker. And during this thing, he was just talking about resilience and work ethic and training. And I learned so much from him, man. It was such an awesome experience to hear how Jerry Rice put himself in a position where he's probably going to go in history as one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver on the planet. So with that said, they had this big gambling day. They had some teams. They raised all this money. And then they gave me, said, here, Tyron, we want you to take this money. We want you to give it to a charity of your choice because they know I'm into that kind of stuff. So I just like that people know that. They know I'm into it. And I do so much stuff that a lot of people don't see because I don't do it to be seen. Sometimes I think it's good to give exposure to, like, maybe the Jackie Joyner Curtis Center or one of the schools, or just to show people it's a different side of me. But in general, I don't do it to get the credit. I do it because, you know,
absolutely,
people helped me out throughout middle school and high school. Otherwise, man, you know, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now.
You know what, and I think that's what it's all about. It's giving back and doing it because it's natural and it's the right thing to do, not to try to get
and it's
credit,
the right thing to do.
It's the right. You know what, real quick, I know a lot of people got mad at Mike for actually finally giving back. And I said, how do you know what Mike's ever done? Talking about Jordan. You know, what he's ever done, communities and things like that. I knew I'm from the south side of Chicago, 94. I know that Mike helped me in Chicago. Continue. But everybody doesn't know those kind of stories that Mike has. And, you know, giving back to charity. You don't do it to get the notoriety. You do it because it's the right thing to do. Champ, love having you on. Thank you so much. Go out there. Continue to be the chosen one. Continue to be great. Continue to be what God has planned for you. I love your family, beautiful family. Again, follow this man on Snapchat. Or are you, let me ask you this question. Are you a Snapchatter guy still, or are you an Instagram story kind of guy?
Man, you know, I just got on Snapchat, so I'm like, dang, now I got to kind of like revisit these same things on Instagram too. So, you know, I haven't did the IG story yet. You know, I put up one little deal, but I like Snapchat. It's fun. It's not a lot of, you know, business usage for me, but I also don't have to worry about people, you know, commenting. Like my Instagram right now is just starting to get brutal. People are mad. I'm like, it comes to the territory. People mad like I just beat up their dad, and they took some groceries out their refrigerator. So yeah, I just quit reading it though, because at the end of the day, it ain't gonna stop what I'm doing.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Insta stories. I don't even like the sound of it. I tried to get into it, but Snapchat is just so much easier, and you can just push a button and go about my way and move on. Again, I love your beautiful children. I love how you guys create a belt. You got a podcast, The Morning Wood. I love it. You know, because who doesn't wake up that way? You know, what made you get into that?
You know what? You know, me and Dean have a great chemistry. He's been my coach for 10 years. We just won a world title together. You know, we also look at the sport a different way. We look at it from a strategic way, and, you know, we break down a lot of film, and we watch a lot of fighters. So with so many fights coming up, it's good to have us key in on it. I'm an analyst on that. He's one of the head strategists at ATT. You know, so we both are doing things alongside of MMA, but we're also doing things outside of MMA. He's now on the show Looking for a Fighter, which you guys can check out with him. Dana White, Matt Sarah on YouTube. I think they're even going to push those to Netflix pretty soon. And I'm also doing stuff in entertainment with acting, stunts, and television as well. So we have a big list of people. So we figured, man, why don't we just start having some of these cool conversations we always have on air and let the people hear them?
Well, you know what? That's what made me get up off my couch and go in my mama's basement. I'm lying. I was never in my mother's basement. I just thought, you know, that's what everybody does. They think you just go in your mama's basement and cut a podcast. I have a degree, God darn it. People, listen, Tyron, thank you so much for coming on, man. Listen, people, stand on your feet. There's no welterweight wrestling on the world. Mr. Tyron.
Thanks.
What's going on, man?
Thank you, brother.
Fox Sports Radio 1340.
They're able to step up to the microphone during the hardest of times.
Giving you Tri-City sports.
I live there. That's my home. I'm a homer.
We're the home of the Wizards, the Orioles, the VCU Rams, the Hopewell Blue Devils, March Madness. Welcome home. This is the new Fox Sports Radio 1340.